Weekend. Hello. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Good morning. Sorry, I've got a mess happening here on my desk. I get my desk clean, and then the next thing I know, it's messy again. All right, let me get over here to YouTube because I've discovered that even if it's like 2 seconds, the trolls just come on up and, they can't help themselves. So I'll get that switched over. I'm going to grab my notebook. Thank you, Shelby. Oh, look at that. Thank you. All right. Notebook. Happy Tuesday. All right. Oh my gosh, I have so many pop-ups I can't even get to YouTube. Close all. There we go. No trouble here. Fantastic. All right, let's see. So, coffee chat. We'll fix this. Subscribers. Although Christina did discover that she is capable of doing this for me now, which is awesome. Oh, you've never seen the dark gray done before? They do a lot of the Halloween ones in the darker colored. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So what a weekend. Yeah, I'm sure that's on the notes. This was our best weekend ever as Marketplace, but I'm sure we'll talk about that. Crazy. Grab a pen here and get to our notes. Boop. We don't have one yet. Okay, we don't have notes yet. So, I will begin on my own. Wait, maybe I should refresh. Maybe she's on the notes and I just need to refresh. No, okay. Oh, there they are. Maybe it's a me thing. All right. So for those of you who are out there in the universe, this is Niknax Coffee Chat. So Niknax is my e-commerce marketplace. It's one of the newest and fastest growing e-commerce marketplaces out there. Very exciting. We're doing great things here on Niknax, and we'd love to have you come and join us. But that's what we're talking about today. Every week, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, I get on here. I talk about Niknax. We talk about things that are happening, milestones that we've met, new members, all the things. So it's a great way to get information about the marketplace. And if you're a seller, if you're a buyer, I encourage you to come and hang out with us. Usually there's a lot of information in here for sellers. So it's a really good thing if you're a seller here on Niknax that you join in on the coffee chats. And if you can't be here for coffee chat, that you rewatch the coffee chat because there's valuable information here for you. Thank you. So let's get started here. If you're over on Facebook or YouTube, we would love to invite you to come on over and join us on Niknax. This is where I am right now. I'm on Niknax, but I'm sending the signal out to Facebook and YouTube. So you can see me on Facebook and YouTube, but I'm here on Niknax. Yes, we do have a huge community of handcrafted items and handmade artisans. So we would love to have you come over. We have a huge community. You like this? This is one of my favorite shirts, and at one point I got bleach on it, but it really doesn't bother me because it's so cool. One of my favorite shirts. So currently we are at 44,416 members. We're closing in on 45,000. Yay! That's pretty fantastic. So we have 445 new members since last week. So welcome to all of our new members. Welcome to Niknax. Welcome, and thank you for being a part of our community. You'll find that things are a little different here than other places you may have been in the past. We do have live sales, buy it now. I feel like Okay, we have live sales, buy it now, and we have multi-day auctions. So we have a little bit of everything. And we would love. We're happy to have you here. We'd love to have you. We do have you, and we're really happy to have you here. This is what happens when I'm reading comments about how awesome my shirt is and trying to talk at the same time. I'm a multitasker sometimes, but not all the time. Currently, we have 4,712 sellers. That's 146 more from last week. Did I really add 146 more sellers? That's a big number. I didn't think that I did. Maybe I did. Maybe I got a little ambitious this week. 146. Welcome, all of our new sellers. That was the number. I think why I didn't realize that is because I added. Normally I'll spend one day and I'll go through the applications and I'll just add like a whole bunch of sellers all at once. But this time it was like one day I'd add a few, another day I'd add a few. And so I didn't realize it was that many all at once. So it was just like a little trickle, but it was 146 new sellers. So welcome to all of our new sellers. It's wonderful to have you here. Niknax is no longer just about pretty vases and pottery as it was when we first started. I think a lot of people equate me to pottery, little pretty vases and stuff, but Niknax is much bigger than that. We're branching out in all sorts of directions. And to all our new sellers, don't be afraid to bring some variety. We're trying to push our way into other categories and stuff. So if you would like to go live, there is a chat channel on the side under Niknax information that you click on. It's not apply to go live. I do this every week. I can never remember what it's called. You can do your onboarding to go live. So it's under Niknax information. It's live sale onboarding. Live sale onboarding. So if you want to go live, you do the onboarding. It's not applying to go live. You don't have to get approval to go live. It's not like that. But you do have to do the onboarding so that you know what buttons to press, how to go live, how to move things to stage. It's a tutorial, in essence. It's a tutorial. And then also just a quick brief about our rules. Because here on Niknax, we have different rules than you might find elsewhere. And we stick very we're very strict about our rules. We're very strict about our rules. We enforce them. So it's important that you read the rules. That's what I need to write down. Read the rules. We'll talk about that. Okay, so it's very important. I will send you if you're not following the rules, I will send you a message. I say this every time. It's not personal. It's never personal. Sometimes I do have to send you an email, send you a message, and just say, hey, just noticed this. Please, would you just fix this? And a lot of the time I feel like it's just an oversight. It's not like intentional. I never really assume that it's intentional. I always just assume that, it's just, I wasn't thinking, or, I don't assume that anyone's being malicious or doing anything intentionally. So important to read the rules. Otherwise you might receive a message from me or Christina or any of the moderators or admins. Normally it will come from me. It's supposed to come from me, but, if there's ever a reason that it doesn't come from me, please listen to what they have to say. Okay, so we have 107,000 plus listings. That's 3,000 more listings from next. Oh, Greg came over. What? T. Greg, where are you at? Oh, they're saying come over. They're saying come over. T. Greg, come over to Niknax. That's niknax.net. You got to come over. That's step one. Step one, join Niknax. Step one, come to Niknax. So we have over 107,000 listings on Niknax. That's crazy. That's 3,000 more since last week. I feel like that's like a big jump. But when we added 146 new sellers this week, and I think it was 100 and something last week, we're going to see an influx in buy it now listings, especially when it takes a little time to get that onboarding. So a lot of sellers who would otherwise be selling live are, of course, doing their buy it now listings. So very exciting. It's June. Yay, it's June. So happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. It's June. Happy Father's Day is coming up June 15th. Father's Day is coming up June 15th. Juneteenth is going to be June 19th. There's a lot happening in June, isn't there? And post offices will be closed on Juneteenth. All right. So remember that. Juneteenth. That's June 19th. That's easy to remember. Juneteenth. June 19th. And today is Rocky Road Day. Rocky Road Day. So go and get yourself some ice cream to celebrate. All right. Go and get yourself some ice cream. And your birthday. Woohoo! Yep, I'm telling all of you guys, that is your order. I'm passing down. We're going to put it in the guidelines. You must go and discover some ice cream today. Get yourself some Rocky Road. So June is going to be a really exciting month. I'm pretty excited. We talk about the summer slowdown every year. I mean, we've only been at this 1 year, but we talk about the summer slowdown, and we really are like going into it hard and strong. And I think that's what we did last year. And I don't know if I told you guys, I had a meeting with Eddie, and, we were talking about last year and, this, that, no, the summer slowdown. And I was like, what summer slowdown? He's like, huh? We didn't have a summer slowdown. And we went back, of course, and looked at the numbers, and we really didn't have a summer slowdown last year. Like, we were strong as a marketplace. Yes, as an individual seller, we may have experienced a little bit of a slowdown, but as a marketplace, we held it strong. So yes, let's do that again. All right. We had no summer slowdown. We were just like, boop. And I'd love to see that happen again. And, I'm going to do everything possible as the owner of Niknax to make that happen. Our admins, our mods, we're gonna do our best to make sure that we, what summer slowdown, we're going to say that again next year when we're reviewing the year. I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't have one of those. So, as a reminder, so that I can stay on topic, because you guys know I go off on all sorts of tangents, I'm going to save questions to the very end. So please try to save your questions to the end. And if you're afraid you're not going to remember them, write them down. And then at the very end, I will ask if you have questions, and then I will answer your questions. Otherwise, I'll get really distracted by the chat and we'll end up off in some other direction. Okay. So let's try to, I'm going to try to not read the comments and just focus. I'm going to focus. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll be here forever if I start reading too many comments. Paperweight extravaganza. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. That was insane. That was incredible. As a marketplace, and I don't usually talk about numbers, like, we don't really discuss them, but as a marketplace, we did over $100,000 in paperweight sales. What? That's a lot of paperweights. That's a lot of paperweights in just 4 days. I mean, over that, like, I just, that's a rough, like, oh, that's way over that even. That's crazy. That is crazy to think that number passed through the marketplace just this weekend alone. And I have to say that it was such, like, this is our third ever paperweight extravaganza. Our third ever paperweight extravaganza. And I feel like each one has been even, but I don't know exact number. I don't know the number. I just know the monetary. And it was more than that. That's just like a rough, I didn't actually do all the math because that's too much math. I just knew it was over that. So I came in here like it was over this much. But third ever Paperweight. And I feel like each one has been better than the last. And I will tell you that for me as the marketplace owner, it's so incredible to see all the paperweights that everyone brings, not just our live sellers, but our buy it now sellers as well. And I said this yesterday during kickoff, like if you really think about it, we have, how many sellers? 4,700 sellers on Niknax, over 4,000. And you have an event on the marketplace where a good portion of those sellers are outsourcing paperweights from all over the US, Canada, even Sweden, and traveling, going to other countries, bringing them back, so the variety of paperweights that were featured in the extrav, like from, antique paperweights to contemporary paperweights, paperweights that were discovered in little antique shops in the middle of nowhere, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to sell this in the paperweight extravaganza on Niknax. Like just discovering all these paperweights over the past 4 days was amazing. It was absolutely incredible. And I enjoyed it very much. I loved seeing all the different paperweights. And I cannot wait until the next one. I'm so proud of all of our sellers. I'm so proud of all of our sellers. You guys did absolutely amazing. Absolutely fun. I'm going to get emotional, but like you guys just killed it. Absolutely killed it. And I'm very proud of all of you. I'm excited for the next one. I'm very excited for the next one. So we will be announcing that. Usually we like to space them out a little bit because obviously that's a big event to have. Bandit. Let's all give a round of applause for Bandit there. I feel like we need to get Bandit into the Guinness Book of World Records. Like, I don't know how we can do that, but I feel like her collection of paperweights really needs to be honored in some form or fashion, because I imagine it is incredible, an incredible collection. Yeah, I think maybe a museum dedicated to the paperweights. For sure. And and we even saw a lot of new buyers coming in and buying paperweights, which was so exciting to be introduced to these new community members who are just as enthusiastic about paperweights. And so it's such a cool event. It's such a cool event. And I hope that anyone who's, come over for the Paperweight extravaganza, sticks around and checks out what else we have to offer. Because there is more to Niknax than paperweights. There's more than paperweights here. So if there's anything else, that you might be interested in, I mean, we got a lot of cool stuff. We have handmade, we have, clothing, we have fabrics, we have snacks. I always lean on the snacks. Snacks, I lean on hard. By the way, there's some in the buy it now. If you see the little store icon somewhere here, make sure you click on that and go check out this. Yes, the Banford. Ooh, that was beautiful. So yes, card. Yes, and cards. Yeah, we're trying real hard to get into the cards, the sports cards. So if anyone wants to do breaks over here on Niknax, yeah, you just let me know. We're gonna do that soon, hopefully. Andrew and I talked about that, and I'm like, that seems like I need to actually know what I'm doing. Like, although, I watch some of the breaks on Whatnot, and they just have the girl sitting there in the low cut top, and all she has to do is sit there and giggle. And I'm really good at giggling, according to a lot of my trolls on YouTube. And they're like, why do you giggle so much? So I can sit there in a low cut shirt and just giggle while he does the breaks. Like, if that's all I have to do to get people in here on Niknax and like tune into the breaks, I'll take one for the team. Yeah, we got this. Bring on the sports cards. Just kidding. We should probably be a little bit more tasteful than that. Anyway, I got off topic again. Look at that. So paperweights. Let's talk. Christina's got a bunch of notes on paperweights that I totally just glossed over and went off on a tangent. So Christina says, please thank the crowd for me. Everything is a blur. Okay. Shout out to Christina for leading this event, for pulling it all together, for making it happen. She is amazing. And honestly, I don't know how we would function without, I don't know how I would function without her. I don't know how we would function without her here on Niknax, because she, where I'm weak, she's strong, and she really helps pull everything together, and she makes it happen. So she's the voice. She did an amazing job making this happen. So thank you, Christina. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, she has some good points here, so I'm gonna paraphrase. Delivery was definitely key. I noticed that a lot of our sellers really brought so much knowledge and information about their paperweights, even if going into it they didn't know much about, like, oh, this is just a paperweight, but they learned about their paperweights, which I think is amazing. It's one thing to go in and be like, oh, I've got all these paperweights to sell. It's another thing to find a paperweight with a signature on it, or like a little cane on it, and then learn about that paperweight and know, like, oh, well, this was made by so and so. And for instance, the Banford that was sold last night. That was amazing, by the way. That was amazing. But it was the difference between, I think, the blue circle around the B or not circle between the son, Bob Banford, or Ray Banford, the son or the dad. Like, I learned that. I was like, that is incredible. Who had the Banford? Was it Filigree Finch? Yes. Yep. Yeah. So I had no idea. Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Some of the paperweights you had, I was like, I was like drooling. You even had the Mason, right? The senior, the William, what is it? William Mason? Isn't that who that was? And Trish had one of those too. Trish had one with the ladybug. That was really neat. Yeah, I was bummed you didn't get to run that. You ran out of time. The William Mason Senior, yes. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, a lot of our sellers just, they brought the knowledge about the paperweights, which was a lot more than just being like, oh. And that, I mean, that's what part of what made me so proud, is that you guys weren't just selling paperweights. You were learning about the paperweights, and you were bringing that knowledge. So I learned something definitely about the paperweights as I was watching, and I think that's so incredible. We had new people on the train as well. New people on the train who just kicked it out of the park. I think, going back to learning about the paperweights and really, like just learning and knowing and bestowing the knowledge. I need to give a shout out to Picker Gems. I was incredibly proud of Picker Gems for learning about the weights, and I must say, she had every paperweight. She had every paperweight. She knew whatever, like, it was all the titles. She had them all identified. And she knew the little P in the middle of the Perth shirt. Like, I didn't even know that until like a year or two ago, when I first started selling paperweights, and Peter's like, oh yeah, the little P, and I was like, little P, what are you talking about? And so I only learned that a few years ago, and here she is. She's like, oh yeah, and there's a little P, and I'm like, what? You go, girl. She killed it. So I was so proud of her. It was amazing. And then also, all the newbies, newbies that joined, and it was great to have some new people on the train, some new people trying it out, seeing what the paperweight train is all about. Yes, a lot of the paperweights that were being sold, the artists behind those weights are still, they're still with us. They're still around, because a lot of them are contemporary, and some of the artistry that goes into these paperweights are just incredible. I mean, Christina posted one in the paperweight group, and one of the artists was like, yep, I made that. Like, I think that's so cool, that they're still making paperweights. So I would encourage you, given that this event was so successful, like, just realize that a lot of these paperweights are still being made to this day. And some of the art and the pieces that are for sale, just brand new, like, here, I made this, I'm putting it for sale, are incredible. So I would encourage you to go out and check out some of what these artists are offering. They have special shows dedicated to paperweights. Like, if you're in the Paperweight Heaven group, just do some browsing, because a lot of the artists post their paperweights in those groups. And you'll get an idea for like what they're creating. And it's just absolutely like so lifelike. Yes, and Amanda and her handmade paperweights. I wanted so bad to be in her show, and I lost track of time. And then I get this notification, and I'm like, "Oh, Amanda's live!" And I think she saw me come in, and then I click on it, and then it's at the end of her show, and I was like, "What?" And she's like, "We're getting ready to raid," and I'm like, "No." What? But I did see her handmade paperweights. I saw her paperweights, and I was like, these are so cool. These are so cool. Because I forget how I saw them. I think I was looking through her store, and I saw the handmade ones, and they were really awesome. She did. She made paper. She signed them legibly. You can make out what they say. She dated them. I was very proud of her for that, making sure that, 10 years, 20 years down the road, we're going to know these are Amanda's paperweights. I mean, usually some of them, they're like, Laurel could have signed that. We have no idea. But Amanda did a great job. Amanda is Candyland Curiosities. She's one of our moderators. Yes. I could go on and on. There are so many of our sellers. I mean, this is why coffee chat takes so long, because I could just go on and on. You guys were amazing. Like I said, this was an amazing weekend. It was crazy. Well, yes, I saw that, Scottish Dan. You were on for a minute. It was good to be on the same time as a train. Thank you for making that point. And I think, I'm not going to read the comments, but I think that's really important to say. And to point out, Scottish Ann says, I wasn't on the train, but I ran a sale from 9 to 4 at the same time as the train. And it was a good day to be on the same time as a train. I think a lot of people are afraid to compete with the trains. They're like, oh my gosh, there's a train happening. Like, I don't know if I should do this. It's not going to be good. But it's actually benefits you to, if we're having a big event and we're bringing all these people into the marketplace, they might just be curious. They might be like, what's this paperweight thing? I don't really like paperweights, but what is this? They'll come over, they'll check out the paperweights, and they'll be like, what else is going on? And then eventually they'll pop into your sale, or they'll like go check out what else is going on. So I would really encourage you during our big events to maybe go live, to check it out, to be doing your listings if you're a buy it now lister, because just listed is right there on the homepage. You could hit it at just the right moment that you list an item and somebody's on the homepage and they're like, I need that. So absolutely, absolutely, go live. Don't be afraid to go live. I will say, don't be going live with the same theme as the train. You guys know, don't do that. Don't go live with a sale that has the same title, a similar thumbnail, or a theme, because that's not allowed. That's in our guidelines. But other than that, I mean, if the theme is paperweights, not everyone's going to want paperweights. Not everybody's into paperweights. You can absolutely do something else. You can go live with pottery. You can go live with art, with fabrics. We saw all sorts of things. Jewelry. We saw all sorts of things popping up. And our sellers who weren't selling paperweights also did an incredible job this weekend. You did a pottery show. There you go. All right, let's see what else. Yes, sellers set their own personal goals for growth. They studied reference books and reached out for help. They accepted help with gratitude, and they tried new selling strategies. Yes, I think Shell was studying paperweights prior to her show, so that when she came into it knowing what she was selling, going back to the knowledge of knowing what you're selling and doing, like, knowing, oh my gosh, well, this is this. So Shell definitely, yes. Yeah, I'm sure that's in the notes. And if not, I'm going to write it down, but I'm sure it's probably in here. But yeah, so just like knowing, and I think that That's awesome that she took the time to get to know the paperweights. And just goes to show that, people are trying to learn more about what they're selling. And that goes a long way to know what you're selling and not just be like, oh, here's the next thing. Here's the next thing. I mean, granted, people like different kinds of sales. Obviously, some people like where you just pick it up and you sell it and you have no idea what it is. But I feel like with a lot of our buyers, it goes a long way to know what you're selling and to have the knowledge about it. So absolutely. One quick note on paperweights. We had Logan and Sandy reaching out to sellers prior to the train. I always stress this before a paperweight extra because we have so many collectors coming into the marketplace that it's very important that we are representing our paperweights correctly, whether that be the ID, the condition, I think that's really it, including the measurements. I think, yeah, that's so the measurements, the ID, and the condition. Like, that's so important. So Logan and Sandy were going around checking out paperweights. We had a lot of Murano style. We had a lot of Murano that wasn't Murano. And so they were reaching out to sellers. And for the most part, people were very good about like, oh, okay, I'll fix that. If you are contacted by a moderator or admin and they correct you on an ID, please don't argue with them. Don't argue with them. That's not good. So that's just my advice. If they reach out to you, they're doing so for the better of the marketplace. And it's not in your best interest to argue with the moderators because they're doing it for a good reason. We don't want a collector purchasing something and then later finding out, oh my gosh, this isn't Murano, or oh my gosh, this isn't what they said it was. So very important. So that's that about paperweights, but I will take questions at the end if anyone has anything more about paperweights. Canadian shipping has been turned back on. Huge round of applause for District. Thank you very much for getting it on. Back at the last moment, I feel like I talked to Eddie on Tuesday. I was like, we got to get it back on for paperweights, please. We can't have it turned off for paperweights. And I was a little bit of a squeaky wheel. And I'm sending screenshots. I'm like, look at this person complaining. And not complaining, but look at this person who's sad that we don't have shipping for paperweights. I was probably really annoying, but you know what? I got a text on Friday and I was so stoked. I was like, yes. So fortunately for everyone here, Canada shipping is turned back on. So if you are in Canada, you are now able to bid again on items that you see in the US. Prior to that, it was turned off for about a week. I will say that if you are in Canada and you are bidding on any items in the US, please, or in Canada even, just, I'm sure you know this if you are in Canada, but there is a lot of uncertainty with the Canada Post. They're going through negotiations and stuff like that. So I would expect delays if items are shipped through Canada Post. Just expect delays. Expect that anything can happen if you are shipping items through Canada Post. Currently, they shut down their overtime, so they don't have any overtime at the moment. No overtime, but they are shipping. Things are moving, so that's positive. And of course, District is monitoring that situation. But huge thank you to District for getting that turned back on for us for paperweights. I feel like that was a huge deal because I know a lot of our buyers were disappointed that they weren't going to be able to participate in paperweights, and as a result, they were able to hop in there and get some bids in. So that was awesome. So if you are in Canada, in addition to purchasing from our Canadian sellers, which you can still do all the time, by the way, everybody, remember, our Canadian sellers are still out there. I still have them on the homepage, but you can now purchase from the US as well. One thing I will suggest, and I have had this in the past, If you are in Canada and you would like your items shipped UPS, reach out to the seller. Reach out to the seller and request it. A lot of the times it'll come with added fees. So they may send you a private listing with those fees. But that could guarantee that your item will arrive in a timely fashion and not get caught up in the whole Canada Post. If you are in the US shipping to Canada, don't just ship UPS. Don't just be like, oh, this is faster, I'm going to ship UPS. Because in a lot of cases, the buyer will end up getting hit with extra charges at the door and it will get returned. So please, if you are shipping to Canada, don't just choose UPS unless you have heard from a buyer that they want it sent that way. Okay. That's really important. Because at the door, it's going to show up. They're going to be like, oh yeah, you owe us $45. And then the buyer's going to be like, well, I didn't want to pay an extra $45 for this. I'm going to send it back. So that's important. So if you're not contacted by a buyer, just ship it the way US or not US, but Canada Post. All right. So that's that on Canada shipping. For the time being, it is back on. Obviously, it's being monitored. And if there are any updates, I will fill you guys in. And you will get an email from district. The last time, I guess some people didn't get the email. I'm not sure why, but that's why I chose to go live when it got turned back on to let you guys know. And of course, I was out to eat with my parents, and there was no Wi-Fi at the restaurant. So it came out a little garbled, but I think you guys got the gist of it. If anything changes, I will, again, probably put an announcement out on the marketplace and then also talk about it in the live so that you guys are aware of any changes. I don't know what that means, Christina. Oh, okay. When you are shipping your items, please, we haven't actually had to talk about this very often. I mean, for the most part, our sellers are very, very good about shipping. And I feel like part of the reason for that is because when I ask for people to include other selling platforms in their application, one of the things I look at is their shipping and how their items. Ooh, I'm at 6% on my phone. Ooh, I would have died. I would have been like, guys, I'll be back. Hang on. Okay. One of the things is ship, like, I look at that. So if somebody has like 5 negative feedback and it's like the item arrived broken, there wasn't adequate shipping, they didn't respond to me, they didn't refund. So if I'm seeing that in the feedback, I'm like, ooh, I don't know if they're going to be a good fit for Niknax. Shipping is so important. So important. And so for the most part, I feel like our sellers know how to ship. They know how to ship. They know how to get items where they need to be. And keep in mind that if you don't ship the item packaged well, I mean, on the tail of paperweights, this is very important. Bubble wrap, paper, you want that item to get where it's supposed to be. Like, make sure you're using bubble wrap and paper, and there's no movement in the box when you shake it. If you're shaking a box and you're feeling movement, that's not good. 2 inches between the item and the side of the box on every side. That's how you pack a box. A lot of people are saying double box, especially on those expensive items where you get good money on them. I would say definitely. And no 50-pound boxes of paperweights. Please be mindful when you're shipping out your paperweights that you're not overfilling them, because when people get them, they have to lift them. So remember that your shipping is kind of your calling card. And if somebody receives a package from you and it's not adequately shipped, or it's not up to par, or something breaks, they're going to remember that, and they're probably not going to purchase from you again. So please be packing your items correctly. Christina has a whole list here, and I will read it to you because there's no real paraphrasing this. Wrapping, cushion, bubble wrap, no over taping. That may cause more damage than good, because buyers may struggle and the item could break, fumble, and fall. If you choose to reuse a box, take old label completely off. It's good advice. Also, make sure the box is clean. I mean, I've heard stories from other places where people have received a box and it's like got mouse poop in it or it's got dead bugs. Like if you're reusing a box, make sure it's clean, because that's gross. That seller doesn't sell here anymore. But yeah, so make sure that you tip it over and just kidding. Don't use that box. Don't use that box. The way you ship represents your business and Niknax as a whole. So if one person has a bad experience, then it can it imprints on the rest. So if one person has a bad experience on Niknax, and I say this all the time, and this is why I'm so strict about our guidelines and I hold our sellers to such a high standard, is because if one person has a bad experience, one buyer, you know, it's not like, oh, I had a bad experience with that buyer. A lot of the times it's, I had a bad experience with that marketplace. A lot of people don't differentiate. They're not like, oh, I had a bad experience with that seller. It's, I had a bad experience with that marketplace. And that's the way it works. So your shipping and how you're shipping your item is a reflection on the entire marketplace as a whole. So that's why we have such strict standards, and it goes a long way. I feel like that's why we are growing at such a quick rate, and why we're attracting so many people in is because we're strict and we hold people to a high standard, and our buyers can trust the fact that we're going to make sure that everybody's following the rules. Let's see. Okay, another important thing, and this is in our guidelines. And we've talked about this before. Do not call out sellers in their lives. Like I've only done it a few times, and it's because I didn't really have a choice in the matter, but do not call out sellers in their life. If you see that a seller is maybe selling something they're not supposed to, if they're, doing something they're not supposed to, don't call them out live. You can, because maybe they're not actually doing something they're not supposed to. Maybe they have permission to do that thing. I don't know if it's something really crazy. They probably don't. But they might have permission to do the thing they're doing. And you're in there like, oh, you can't do that, and it's just causing a disruption. And we have a rule against causing disruptions. Do not cause a disruption in somebody's sale. Whether you're another seller, whether you're a buyer, like don't do that. So no call outs. So unless the seller asks for advice about an item, like don't be like, oh, that item's, I don't know, just don't be trashing items unless the seller asks for your opinion. The seller's like, do you guys think this is ugly? And then you could be like, yeah, that's hideous. But if the seller doesn't ask, don't volunteer the information, because that's not nice. No price policing. So no going in there and being like, oh my gosh, I saw that at Home Goods yesterday for like $5. Don't do that. You don't want to derail the sale. That rhymed. We should get that on a shirt. Don't derail the sale. We could sell it right next to the "You have died of velociraptors." Yeah, so just don't interrupt sales, please. That's our job. Well, not our job. I prefer not to interrupt the sale, but I will message after the fact. I will. So if you send a message to helpdesk@niknax.net, I will follow up with that seller. I will review the sale. Also, if you delete your sales, I can still watch them. I think that's important for everybody to know. I can still watch your sales even when they're deleted. But I will rewatch the sale. I'll see what they're doing that they're not supposed to. And then I will send a message. So just let us know, because that's our job. That's not your job. Okay. No Murano style. I've said this before, that I was going to go through and start messaging people with Murano style. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but it's coming. Pretty soon I'll be messaging people like, hey, this isn't Murano. Can you change it? Because it's a pet peeve of mine, Murano style, when it's made in China. So Sandy's like, I got this. So the Murano style. It's not, it's keyword spamming, which, you know, is an issue in other places. Keyword spamming is essentially using words that don't actually describe the item. So keyword spamming. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. So no keyword spamming. Murano adjacent. Dude, you just sent me a bunch of emojis. I can't even figure out. Oh, I see. That was funny. I just couldn't see what they were. Now I get the joke. So yeah, so don't be using keyword. Is that coming up? Is that why you sent that? Don't keyword spam. I don't know if that's in our guidelines. I'm gonna write that down. Keyword spamming. All right. Next. Oh, you sent that 33 minutes ago. Oh man, I missed that. I should probably swipe. That was 33 minutes ago. Packing peanuts. Most people don't like packing peanuts. I know I don't. I'm like, oh gosh, the peanuts. we have a basket of peanuts sitting over here that's been here for like 7 years. I don't know what to do with them. Girls are like, we can just dissolve them down the sink. And I'm like, is that a thing though? No peanuts. Oh gosh, because we won't reuse them. We don't do peanuts. Okay, quick way to get technical marketplace district answers. The quickest way so we have a help desk. It's community@niknax.net. I'm not as on top of it as I was there for a while because I've got so many other things I'm working on, but I do check a few times a week at community@niknax.net. But if you have a technical issue, any technical issues, you need to be contacting support@district.net. That is where you need to go for all of your technical issues, for any issues with payment, for any like glitches, all of that stuff. That goes to district because they're the ones that can help you. Yeah. We've had a flood of how do I get this tech problem solved? And I am not good at that. I cannot tell you. So I have been forwarding, a lot of the questions on to support, which is we can do for sure. But if you want a quick answer and a quick response, your best bet is to go straight to district support because it's going to take me a while to see the message and then I have to forward it and then it takes them a little while to respond. And so it's like a really long process. Whereas you can just go straight to them by clicking the help on district. Let's see, where's that at? Is that on Niknax or is that this on district? So in district.net, there is a help icon somewhere. Where's that at? I don't even see it. That's probably why. Go to your profile. Wait a second. Niknax. I need instructions on how to do this, obviously. Go to your profile. And there's a help. There you go. Just click on the little icon and then go down and then there's a little help button right there. It's easy. It's hard to find though. I just read the notes. I had to go back to the notes and read the instructions. So if you go to your little icon and you click on it, at the very bottom, there's a little help and you can click on that and it'll bring you to District Help Center and they have all the answers. So that's that's the solution for that. Vintage. Oh, okay. So we are seeing a lot of vintage cosmetics. And the vintage cosmetics, we're like, do we tell the people you have to empty out the powder out of the I mean, because I feel like people, like if they want to use them as props or they like, and a lot of the times those vintage cosmetics are used as props or things like that. They're not usually. So we're kind of been talking this through. And I think that vintage cosmetics can also fall under collectibles, but I think we need to figure out a way that those can be labeled as not for use. So maybe in the title saying not for use, or something like that, because we don't want somebody like using 50-year-old lotion and getting a chemical burn on their face. You know, that would be like not a good thing. So we have to figure out a way to classify vintage cosmetics as collectibles. So that's been on exactly. Vintage cosmetics are expired cosmetics. So it's kind of a weird thing, but also you have this vintage compact. So it's something that's been on our mind. If you guys want to give us some feedback on how we should handle that, I'm totally open to it, because it's kind of been on our minds a little bit as we're seeing the stuff on the marketplace. So you can reach out. It's sorry, I just got distracted. community@niknax.net. And go ahead and reach out. All right. Let's see. Okay. Next, we have kudos. Thank you to all our live Paperweight sellers participants who shouted out the homepage and are buy it now. Yes. There you go, thrifting teacher. I'm writing that down. That's kind of what I was leaning towards. I was kind of leaning towards that. And so I'm writing that down. I kind of feel the same way. Okay, so yes, thank you to all of our live sellers who were also shouting out our buy it now. Juliet's sending me pictures of popcorn. Our buy it now sellers on the homepage. That was amazing. And we really appreciate you guys doing that. You know, it just goes to as a testament of our community and how, you know, we're working together as a community. And in big events like this, I feel like the live sales often overshadow buy it now listings and stuff like that. So I feel like doing things like that and being like, make sure you go check out the homepage. There's some really, that goes a long way. And I feel like we do see a result in directing people back to the homepage. So that's fantastic. Yeah, send offers. Absolutely. If you see offers on items like turned on, absolutely be sending offers for sure. She can craft with the packing beans. Picker Gems in the kudos. Congrats on your show's success, overcoming business bumps in the road, setting high standards, and meeting your personal goals. Said this earlier, but say it again. We're very proud of you. Picker Gems. I saw you pop in. I don't think you were here earlier, but we saw you pop in. So I wanted to repeat that we're all very proud of you. Also, Crystal. I don't know if you're still here, but congratulations on 1 year and for making it through the 24-hour challenge. I feel like that my kids would call it a 24-hour challenge. Be like, Mom, it's a 24-hour challenge. Like, because that's what they call things on YouTube. They're like, the 24-hour challenge. We did figure out, you know, obviously there was a lapse there in the middle of the night where there was the show went off the homepage. And so I did speak with district. The reason for that is because you surpassed 12 hours. That is now fixed. So if you were to want to do it again, to do a repeat, I got you. So just putting it out there. Maybe you need to recover like a week or two and then try it again. But yes, that is now an option. Calling all night owls. So at 12 hours, that's when it kicked out. But it is now fixed. So so that's awesome. Congratulations on that. That is our first 24-hour sale here on Niknax, and all to celebrate your 1 year. So that's really awesome. And I the 24 hours, when we talked on the phone, I was like, that's really brave. I don't think I could even do that. I couldn't even do that. And I'm like always like wired. And I'd be out by like, I'd be like, all right, guys, it's 8:30. I'm going to bed on like 7 pots of coffee. Oh shoot. All right. Also, what do we have here? Reminder, listings must have descriptions including condition report. So you must have condition report in your listings. You need to have measurements. You need to have pictures of all of the sides. Very important. And no stock photos. We do have a rule against no stock photos. That's becoming more of an issue as we have more clothing sales. And it's a copyright issue. It's a copyright issue with a lot of these companies because those photos are copyrighted by the company who puts out the clothing. So that is a concern to me. So if you are a clothing seller, if you could please not use stock photos. We haven't enforced it officially, but we do have a guideline against using stock photos. Can you use AI photos? Ooh, that's cool. I don't see why not. I've seen those apps where they use the AI photos, and I think that's pretty cool. Where they're like, oh, here's a purse, and then they're like, put this purse in this person's hand. That's pretty neat. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. Like, yes. Yes. Let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, those are really cool. I'm like, I wonder if I can make people like, if I could use AI to be like, hold this vase. And then I could get like a picture of somebody really happy holding a vase. Like, that's my picture right there. Check out that vase, guys. The vase makes this person very happy, and it can make you very happy. Oh, shoot. I totally lost my spot. Okay. If you, absolutely. If you want to host a train, there are steps to hosting a train. You need to put it on the run by sheet. You need to get the check mark of approval on the run by sheet. So just putting it on the run by sheet doesn't like say, oh, I'm going to run the train. No, you have to get the check mark of approval on the run by sheet. You have to email Christina Moonsky, Christina@niknax.net. And all conductors and participants must read the train guidelines before participating. Very important. They must read the guidelines before participating. Because we've been having issues with trains recently, even seller-sponsored trains where people are not following the theme. People are canceling last minute for no real reason. So it's really important that if you're signing up for a train, that you are following the rules. Otherwise, you probably won't be considered for the next one. So if you're going to be in a train, read the train rules. It's very important. Something else I wanted to say about that, but I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say, so I'm just going to keep going. Reminder to everyone to check out the event calendar. We have some great events coming up this month. Yeah, we have some events coming up this month. Christina is taking off. She's leaving us, so I don't know what I'm going to do by myself. But I don't know what our next event is. It's probably on here. We have signups for Meet Your Maker. She's like, I'm still here. She's going on vacation for 3 weeks. So that's why I'm like, oh my goodness. It's well-deserved. It's a well-deserved break. Yeah. Like, break? What is that? So go check out the event calendar to see what we have coming up. We do have, in addition to our marketplace events, like, you know, Paperweights was obviously a Niknax sponsored event. We got a lot of promotion behind it. We did a lot of things. But we also have seller events, seller trains. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. As far as the seller trains go, please remember, and this is very important, that if you are hosting a train, just because you're hosting a train does not, like saying, oh, I'm having a train. It's a train. Just because it's a train does not mean it's automatically going to be successful. Like, as a train host, as a conductor, it is your responsibility to promote that train, to get the word out, to put it out there, to make sure that people know about it. You know, just like having a train doesn't mean that you or all the people on your train are going to be successful. It's a lot of responsibility to host a train. And so don't just assume that, oh, I'm having a train, it's going to be successful because it's on Niknax. You gotta be the promoter. You gotta get all the hype behind it. Absolutely. And as a participant in a train, also important to remember that just because you're on a train doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. You have to do the work. There has to be, like, you got to do the work together. And I feel like that was the case for the Paperweight train. We did our part and our sellers did their part. And that's why it was a huge success, because we were all kind of meeting in the middle. And with seller trains as well, that's what you got to do. You all got to bring it, and you got to meet in the middle, and you got to make it work. So just because you're hosting a train doesn't mean it's going to be successful. And just because you're on a train doesn't mean it's going to be successful. Not all trains, and I have this in the guidelines, is a tip. Not all trains are good ideas. Okay. They're not all good ideas. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to have a train selling used socks. Does anybody want to be in on my used sock train? And then you're like, oh my gosh, it's a train. Of course I want to sell used socks, because that doesn't mean that, that selling used socks is going to be successful just because it's a train. There's still used socks. Okay. No. Yeah. I mean, you might get some weirdos in there, but that's about it. Work on eBay. Well, this is on eBay. So keep that in mind, please. If you're like, oh, it's a train, I'm going to sign up just because it's a train. That's not always the case. Not every train is a good idea. And not every train we approve is a good idea. We're just approving it because there's no reason not to approve it. All right, please. Oh yeah, so I reminded you to check out the event calendar. Coming up, we have Meet Your Maker signups. The next Meet Your Maker is June 27th. And the signups will be this week. It will be this week. So you will want to check the Gazette today for more information. Snag train. I like that idea. So make sure you check the Gazette for more info. And handmade markets. There's no Fast Friday freight until July because Christina is taken off. And so our next big event. So we have a few big events. Obviously, there's Fenton. That's a big one. We have Paperweights, probably our biggest. And then we have our glass gallery, which is like it's like they're all like neck and neck. We're thinking of adding another one. We've got the theme brewing. That's going to be another top, I think. But our next big event, our next big one is the glass gallery. And that is going to be July 19th through the 20th. Okay. July 19th through the 20th. That is going to be huge. So yes, paperweights, you can sell paperweights if they're glass. You can sell anything that is glass. I'm going to encourage you to be sourcing top-notch glass. Christmas in July. I do believe we have a seller-sponsored train for halfway to July. And I don't remember who it is because we can't do it as a marketplace because Christina's going to be traveling. But I think that we do have an approved seller train for Christmas. June 25th is the Christmas train. There you go. June 25th is Christmas. So, yeah, that's it for my notes. So if you guys have any questions, any comments, anything you would like to add, I have about 5 minutes. Canadian sellers, please see Canadian sellers chat channel. Larissa's putting that out there. When do the Christmas train signups go live? I don't know the answer to that because that is a seller train. That would probably, if you can see the chat channels, probably 2 weeks before. There you go. Elsie says 2 weeks before any Halloween. We did have our Halloween, halfway to Halloween. That was last month. When are signups for Glass Gallery? I do not know. I don't know when we're going to do signups for Glass Gallery. Any that stops unbidding yourself. So Dylan, there should be a fix to that. There should be a fix to that, and I thought that it was fixed, but were you bidding against yourself still? Because I thought that was fixed. Yes. All right, I'll bring it up. You saw it all weekend. Okay. Were you personally? You did yesterday. Okay. Okay. All right. I got it. Okay. I had my meeting at 12:30, and I will bring it up again. Bidding against. So I think part of the reason for this, if this makes sense, is because of the what is it? The sudden death. The sudden death. Sienna's here. Sienna, sorry to put you on the spot like this, but well, I just got asked if we're making any headway on the bidding against yourself. And I didn't really have an answer for that, so I wasn't sure if maybe you did. And so there is an app for Android, but it is to go live. So if you are a seller, you can use the app to go live. But otherwise, if you're using Android, I would encourage you to use your web browser. You can just do niknax.net, and you can access it through there. Do you have any advice for non-live sellers to get their name out there? Be listing every day. Absolutely be listing, even if it's like 1 or 2 listings. Even if you're going back to old listings and duplicating them and then deleting the original listing, just to keep things happening. That would be my my advice. They're working on it. Some people should start to see a message pop up if they try to bid against themselves. It will be fully built in for everyone soon. Okay, so there you go. So there is a partial fix that some people will start seeing, and then it will be built in for everyone very soon. That is what Sienna says. So they are working on it. They are on top of it, and they know that it is definitely a pain point here, and so they will have that fixed up. Yes, welcome to Niknax. Welcome. Yeah, so that is my advice. Definitely be listing every day. The Meet Your Maker theme. There is no theme listed. It's a mystery. Can we share that? Can we share that we sell on Niknax on our social media? Yes, absolutely. So as far as the logos go, I always say that you guys can use the logos for marketing, promotional stuff. My only request is that you do not use Niknax logos or branding for making money. So not commercial use. People can still ignore the message and bid against themselves if they choose, by the way, in case people continue to see it. So you can bid against yourself if you want to. Yes, I'm still talking with the fairgrounds about October 25th. I know it's like Christina's like, we got to get this figured out. I'm like, I know. But I'm going back and forth with the fairgrounds about the 25th event. So it's in the works. Native American made category. Native American made. We have Native American style. That is currently a category. My concern with Native American made is that people will not know and start using it, and then there will be some deception there. So I would use Native American style, which unfortunately isn't that specific, but it would, yeah. monkey? Yeah, so we're hoping to do an event here in Carlisle at the fairgrounds. It's very short notice. We have the dates blocked off with the fairgrounds, but I'm trying to work out a contract with them to be able to have the fairgrounds for that weekend, and then put on an event in anticipation for next year's event. So this would just kind of be like a trial run to check it out, see how it works. Oh, Bandit made a comment. Sorry, I missed it. Did not use custom bid on Monday and still was bidding against myself. I don't know. Yes, district is working on it. I know I bring it up every week. I was going to bring it up again, but Stan is here. She saw it herself. So I think that, they know they're gonna fix it, and they're working on it. Hopefully, squeaky wheels. Every week I'm like, everybody is talking about bidding against the fix is going out to everyone soon. Some people already have it. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Yes, this is Sienna talking, not me. But yeah, we will have a fix for that. It takes time to build things, and we've come a long way in a year and a half, almost 2 years. It's been kind of crazy to think how far we've come. And so I'm sure it'll be here in no time. And then you guys will be like, wait, what? People used to bid against themselves? That's crazy, and nobody will believe that was actually a thing. Like when my parents were like, oh, I used to walk to school 7 miles. And I'm like, that never happened. It'll kind of be like that. Like, that never happened. People didn't used to bid against themselves. Yes, thank you to district for all of their hard work. They do keep us all functioning and moving and keep things happening. unless they wanted to. So, oh yeah, sorry, I was clicking my pen. Sorry, that was me. Clicking my pen. Sorry, guys. Can you send me a link for onboarding, please? I've tried a couple of times and I can't find it. I am approved to sell for over a month now. Okay. ISO 4455. ISO 445540. Okay, I wrote that down. So if you go over to the chat channels, sorry, I finally put the lid back on. I'm not going to touch it anymore. If you get over to the the side panel on Niknax and you go to get started, you should see the onboarding. If you're approved to sell, you should see onboarding, and you should be able to click on that and schedule your live. There's a link in there to schedule your live. What am I going to do about what bad language? Do we have bad language? I didn't know about any bad language. That's news to me. Do we have bad language? So here's the thing is, as we grow, obviously, I didn't know about that. As we grow, obviously, we're going to start attracting other people in. Well, do you have an example of when bad language was used? Because I haven't heard or seen any bad language. But as we grow, obviously, we're going to be bringing in more people with colorful words, maybe. Obviously, I don't want anyone dropping the F-bomb every 5 minutes, but they may let it slip every now and then. So my goal is to have something similar to what Whatnot has, is that message that pops up that's like, hey, this is for, this sale is for 18, or, like that, just a little message that pops up when you go to click into the sale. A disclaimer. Yeah. So that you are saying, no, I want to be in here. I don't care if I hear an F-bomb, like that sort of thing. So when we start going like in a direction where, we may have a few people Niknax after dark. Yeah. I don't think that's ever going to be like a huge thing, but I get it. Some people can't help themselves. Some people, it's just a normal thing, you know, like they're just talking and it just slips out. And I know I have personal friends who like don't want to come over to Niknax because they're afraid that just in their normal vocabulary, they just accidentally slip, and they don't want to do that on Niknax knowing that they're my friends, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, like I would feel so bad. And so as a result, if we just had that disclaimer, you know, it wouldn't, it would be like, okay, well, no, not her. It would just be like, okay, that's not, you know, that people were warned that it might happen, and it is what it is. So yeah, I think that would be very helpful at some point, especially as we branch into the other categories, which maybe are a little bit rougher, you know, a little bit more rough. I try really hard. So, I think on that note, I'm going to call it. I'm going to go get some more coffee and get ready for my 12:30 meeting. You know, I appreciate all of you for being on your best behavior here on Niknax, because I know. I mean, I think Jujubee, I think was, I remember rating Jujubee on Whatnot. I know you do, and I'm so proud of you for trying so hard, and because I know. I don't mean to call you out, but I know that it's really hard for you, and I respect, and I'm proud of you but just wait, you know, when we get that, you can just go back to to the norm, you know. People will be like, oh my gosh. But you were in the Navy, right? Weren't you in the Navy? Isn't there an expression like that, like, oh, they curse like a sailor? Just saying. Oh, you work at a manufacturer. Yeah, I remember you telling me that. I know. So anyway, oh man, no, it was a good time. And I totally get it. I understand. It's a sign of intelligence. Yeah, you guys should see me when I'm not live. Just kidding. Anyway, I want to call it here, and I guess I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to be live tomorrow. Make sure that you check out the event calendar. We do have some fun events coming up. I think Groovy Train is tonight. Good Morning Niknax is tomorrow. I saw a church post about that. And then tomorrow night, do we have any trains tomorrow night? I don't know if we do. But definitely check out the event calendar. Lots of fun stuff coming up. Niknax is a wonderful place, and I'm happy that you all are here hanging out with us. Art Hangout on Thursday. Yes. I wasn't sure if I should keep going throughout the week or if I should stop it at Wednesday. But yes, Art Hangout is Thursday. And then I'm sure we have some crazy cool events happening this weekend. But I will see you guys on Wednesday. Thursday, I'm thinking of doing an unboxing again. I might do an unboxing sale. I don't know. If someone F-bombed, I'd click off. Yes, no, I totally get that. That's why I think that we need to have some sort of like warning, like you might hear the F-bomb if you go in here, because it's not for everybody, especially if you're sitting there with your kids. You know, if I'm sitting there with Laurel or Juliet and I'm watching a show, I don't want to have an unexpected, you know, like, ooh, you know, oh, out of that stale. So yeah, having a warning is so very important. But anyway, let's see who we can raid. Who is live right now? Let's see. Who is live? Oh my goodness, we got so many people live right now. You have a serious question? All right, serious question before we do our raid. You're having your first live tomorrow. Yay! Pretty thrifty shop. I like that. Pretty Thrifty Shop is having a first live tomorrow. Bookmarking shows is in the works. Yes, it has been for a while, and I'm sure it's there. It's on Groovy Tuesday training tonight starts at 5:18. Oh, interesting. All right, let's see. I didn't see your question there, Junk Monkey. Are we asking about? Oh, I have a couple of risque picks I'm afraid to sell. If you blur out the risque part of what's happening. I have seen that done on the marketplace. But if you want to, oh, pieces of pottery, yeah, just blur it out. I've seen that done. But Post-it notes, yeah, just blur. And if we get too many complaints, I'll message you and I'll be like, hey, so this isn't working out. Do you think you can pull these down? All right, let's see who's live right now. Oh my gosh, so many live. All right, let me refresh. I want to see who has the lowest view count, and then we're gonna go hang out. All right, so Fragile is doing the alphabet challenge, and she has one person in there. Just one. We also have Music City Girl is doing, oh, she's doing her. All right, so Music City Girl is making raccoon magnets, celebrating 1,000 sales. She is doing raccoon magnets. I would say definitely go check her out. She's doing a maker show. Filigree Finch is doing paperweights. She's doing the rest of her paperweights. So she had that William Mason Sr. piece. You might want to go check her out. Does It Glow Michelle is doing rings and things, but we're going to go see Fragile. Brindy is doing Goodwill bins, and Mimi's trunk is doing clearance, but we're going to go see Fragile. Go check it out. Go see around. I just go to the main page and look and see who's got the lowest count. So let's go see Fragile. Here we go.